Daniel Cormier has finally stepped into the storm, the one that's been swirling around him for days after his comments sent MMA Twitter into chaos. The former two-division champion, now a respected analyst, found himself under heavy fire this week after calling out middleweight king Khamzat Chimaev's reliance on double-leg takedowns. But that was just the spark. Cormier went further, questioning the accuracy of Merab Dvalishvili's all-time UFC takedown record, suggesting the stats might not even be tracked correctly. That remark ignited an immediate backlash. Fans accused him of hypocrisy, pointing out that he never once questioned Khabib Nurmagomedov's 22 takedowns in a single fight, a record that's become the stuff of legend. And when social media lit up with criticism, Cormier decided to respond, jumping on Twitter to clarify that he wasn't mad at the takedowns at all, just confused by how they're counted. "I still don't believe Khabib got 22 takedowns," he wrote. But as the debate intensified, Cormier knew he couldn't leave it at that. On ESPN's Good Guy, Bad Guy show, he elaborated on what he meant and doubled down. "The problem isn't the fighters," he said, his voice calm but firm. "It's how the takedowns are scored. In MMA, a takedown should be when you actually take someone to the mat and maintain control. If you pick them up, put them down, and they stand right back up, that's not a takedown. That's a mat return." Cormier explained that he'd even been called into discussions with the officials who track these numbers, and even after sitting with them, he still didn't agree. "They tried to convince me," he said, shaking his head. "But no, it's not a takedown. You're not going to change my mind." His frustration was clear. In his eyes, fighters like Merab weren't landing 20 clean takedowns. They were landing 5 or 6 and just cycling through multiple returns. It was a rare moment where DC, one of the sport's most respected voices, went against the grain, challenging how the sport itself quantifies dominance. Meanwhile, in a completely different corner of the MMA world, another story was unfolding, one of shocking collapse and unexpected triumph. Reinier de Ridder, the stoic Dutch contender many thought could be the next big thing at middleweight, stunned fans when he quit on the stool during his title eliminator against Brendan Allen. What was supposed to be a routine night for RDR turned into a disaster. He started strong, looking sharp and composed in the opening round, but Allen adapted. He began to out-grapple the once dominant jiu-jitsu ace, breaking him down with relentless pressure and superior conditioning. By the third round, de Ridder's face told the entire story. He was gassed, his spirit fading as Allen poured on the pressure. When the bell rang, he didn't stand up. He couldn't. And just like that, the fight was over. For Brendan Allen, it was the biggest win of his career, and he didn't waste a second soaking it in. The moment the fight ended, Allen called out Khamzat Chimaev, challenging the champion directly. His tone was confident but respectful, a mix of pride and hunger. "I speak grappling fluently," he said in his post-fight interview with MMA Junkie. "His wrestling is great, we all know that. But my jiu-jitsu is great too. I think I have a great outlook for that fight now or whenever it happens, and with a full camp, I'll be ready for anyone." Allen's self-belief radiated through every word. He broke down his performance, explaining that he knew de Ridder's early pressure wouldn't last. "There's no way he could keep that pace. You can squeeze hard for 1 round, maybe 2, but not 5. I stayed smart, stayed composed. I was calculating the whole time." As fans celebrated his breakthrough win, Dana White joined the conversation, praising Allen for a killer performance while openly criticizing de Ridder's lack of heart. "He looked slow," Dana admitted in a post-fight presser. "He got out-wrestled, couldn't deal with the speed. It's disappointing when a guy with that much talent just fades like that." The MMA world agreed. Social media exploded with fighters weighing in. Khamzat Chimaev wasted no time, tweeting that de Ridder gave up, calling him a BS guy. Caio Baralho asked whether de Ridder had been injured or had simply quit. Paulo Costa joked that if he'd known it would end that fast, he would have stepped in himself. The once-feared Dutchman was now the butt of every meme. For Brendan Allen, though, this was validation. The night his name entered the title conversation. And while he might still be a few wins away from a championship fight, his confidence and skill have made him a legitimate threat. The middleweight division has never been more unpredictable. Between Chimaev, Sean Strickland, Nasruddin Imavov, and rising stars like Fluffy Hernandez, every fight feels like a power shift waiting to happen. But if unpredictability defines the middleweights, chaos defines the heavyweight picture, and Joe Rogan just threw gasoline on that fire. In a recent episode of his podcast with Andrew Schultz, Rogan declared that a Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira fight wouldn't just be big, it would be the biggest fight in the history of combat sports. The statement instantly went viral. Rogan painted the matchup as a collision of mythic proportions, the greatest fighter of all time versus the most terrifying striker alive. You've got Jon Jones, the GOAT, the complete martial artist, against Alex Pereira, maybe the most destructive striker we've ever seen, Rogan said. It would be the biggest fight in human history. And the craziest part? It might actually happen. Pereira has hinted that he's moving up to heavyweight, potentially ending his career there. That instantly opens the door for a super fight with Jones, especially if Jones returns for the rumored White House event later this year. The only question is whether it'll be Jones himself or the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, who stands across from Pereira. Chimaev, of course, couldn't resist joining the madness. He's already floated the idea of fighting Pereira at heavyweight, willing to risk everything for a shot at the division's most dangerous man.